G'day everyone, welcome to this week's video. William Patino is an award-winning landscape photographer based in the South Island of New Zealand. His work has been featured in international magazines, blogs and podcasts. He has an impressive client list including Sony, Apple, MasterCard, Tourism Australia and Air New Zealand. What sets Will Patino apart from other landscape photographers is he shoots almost entirely handheld with no filters and no tripod. This is something that's always fascinated me over the years. I recently had an opportunity to do a 6-day workshop with Will in New Zealand. What I found was a humble guy with amazing skills who's right at home in one of the most beautiful parts of the South Island, Fiordland. The following video documents that week with Will. I hope you enjoy it. I left Sydney under sunny skies. After a 2-hour delay, we taxied out across the runway and finally started making my way towards Queenstown. Arriving at my hotel well after 9 PM, it was time to prepare all my gear for the next day's workshop. Well, I finally made it here to Queenstown in New Zealand. It's just after 12 o'clock. It always amazes me for a country that's only 3 hours away from Australia. Whenever you try and travel here, it seems to take an entire day. It's great to be here. I've had a shower. I'm going to go to bed now and get ready for tomorrow morning's workshop. Tomorrow morning we've got a briefing down in the lobby here at the hotel by Will, and before we head out on our first day of the workshop, out of respect to Will and the other participants, I'm not going to be vlogging all the way around. I'm just going to take my GoPro along and grab some footage along the way and try and piece that together, so give you guys a bit of an idea of what the workshops are about and what you could expect if you actually come here and do one of them yourself. But for now, I'm pretty tired. It's been a big day on the road. I'm really looking forward to tomorrow, to the first day of the workshop. So I'll see you then. After introductions with each other the next morning and discussing what we wanted to achieve by the end of the week, Will outlined the week ahead of us. Unfortunately, the weather gods were against us for the first 24 hours, but forecasts beyond that looked promising for the rest of the week. We headed out and tried our best whenever opportunity arose. But the weather was relentless. Despite this, we were all positive as we knew better days laid ahead.
1/8 of a second.
Time to brave the elements for some sea stack photography. Although challenging, we all embraced the chance to get the cameras out, and with Will's guidance we moved on. After the previous night's rain, waterfalls in the area were our target, and in this part of the west coast we had many to choose from. The wind and spray proved difficult to compose an image before the moisture fouled the lens, but we did our best. We continued on our journey towards our overnight stop at Twizel, but not before being treated to some late afternoon beautiful golden textures in the landscape. Will's knowledge of the area and how the light would interact at sunset took us to our final destination, the stunning Lake Ohau. Strong winds and some interesting clouds made for a memorable sunset shoot. The workshop moves at a pace with no set rules or plans. It's all about reacting to the light and being in place to capture that wow moment. As a client, you feel his main objective is to give you the tools required to take your landscape photography to the next level. We are reminded of what's required to create a strong image, and that is the 4 pillars of landscape photography, being location, composition, light and post-processing. This becomes more evident as the week goes on and we take more and more images. The workshops are suited to experienced and inexperienced photographers, and all locations can be reached with a moderate level of fitness. It also allows time to learn Will's post-processing techniques when not in the field. We found these sessions invaluable. Being able to edit, critique, one-on-one with Will enabled me to discover new techniques and workflows. By midweek, our group had become closer, and we were all enjoying the freedom of shooting handheld and tripod-free. If you feel a need for a tripod is necessary, it's more than okay. We were all shooting mirrorless, with the image stabilization being pushed to its limits, but it was liberating being able to adapt to when the light appeared and compose an image not possible with the tripod. Will saved the best part of workshop until last, his own backyard, Fiordland, and the gateway to the stunning Milford Sound. On day one at Fiordland, we also had a visit from the Kia, the unique and endangered parrot that lives in the Southern Alps. Mischievous and intelligent, these beautiful birds were a highlight of the trip, and by taking part in a workshop, you will by contributing via Will to the Kia Conservation Trust to protect and preserve these unique birds. Later that morning, we visited stunning waterfalls with turquoise blue water and moss-covered rocks. We ventured further into the forest to towering cascades that thundered down the valley. With over an hour in this location alone, such was the numerous compositions on offer. An early start for our day to Milford Sound, starting with some lakeside reflections and beautiful early morning light on the peaks. We continued towards the engineering marvel of Homer Tunnel before we began our descent past snow-capped mountains and one more location prior to the morning cruise.
So know exactly.
Although I've been to Milford Sound many times, it never fails to impress. Will had organised a small group tour on the Sound. This enabled us to move around the boat freely and photograph both sides plus front and rear. Snow-capped mountains, towering waterfalls and the fjord itself enable us to capture multiple images over the 2 hours on the water. Will's knowledge of this area enabled us to be ready whenever a classic composition arose. It was time to leave Milford Sound, but not before one last image of this breathtaking location. Our last location was for some forest photography. Trying to simplify the chaotic scene was not as easy as it seemed, but with Will's experience and advice on how to frame forest images, enabled the group to finish on a high.
Same, right there, okay? It's not always about the big scene in these forests, a little bit in the foreground. Okay, you can envision it, right? Like that.
This stunning location would provide us with some unique images of the moss ferns and old-growth trees. I took my time to walk around this stunning forest and reflect as our workshop drew to a close.
Well guys, that completes this week's video. I'm sure by having a look at the video and the images that have come up, you've really enjoyed the video as much as I have been here with Will, and I'm here with the man himself, Will Patino. Will, for anyone that's thinking of coming here and doing one of your tours, what do you think sets your tours apart from some of the others? I know what they are. I've been here a week. For anyone that's thinking or contemplating coming to New Zealand to do a photography tour, what can they look forward to?
Mate, you could probably answer it better than me, but I think, you know, this place is really unlike anywhere else on earth.
It certainly is, yeah.
You can see within a week the diversity every day. It's just been incredibly different.
Yeah.
And I think you know, one of the key factors that I try to do on my tours is nothing set in stone.
Yep.
So, you know, each day, you know, there's no real set plan. You've got to react in landscape photography. And I think, you know, the fact that I live here, this is what I live and breathe, especially here in Fiordland. I just like being able to take you guys on that journey, and I like all those unexpected things which just keep jumping out and keeps taking your breath away, and it keeps it fresh for me because nature just keeps, you know, changing. And that's what I love the most, is the element of surprise. And I guess, me being out in the field here probably 6 days a week, year in, year out, that all adds up to kind of getting to know the place pretty well. So it's been a pleasure to have you here and share it with you.
Yeah, well, look, I can certainly attest for it. It's been a phenomenal week here with Will. I think the thing for me that really stands out is Will's ability to be able to read the light within Fiordland here, where the light's going to be reacting. So we were able to go to those locations really quickly without having to search around for compositions. Will knows this area like the back of his hand. It's his home base. So if you ever want to do a photography tour, make sure you come down and see Will down here in Fiordland. Phenomenal photographer. We've had an amazing week. I'm going to leave some links to Will's YouTube channel, to his website, and to his photography tours. I'll leave a link to the clip to that as well. Will, thanks very much.
Thanks, mate.
It's an amazing week.
Check's in the mail. See you guys.